I absolutely love the game Guilty Gear Strive, which is why whenever a new character releases, for the most part, I always like to give them a shot. Although there are some exceptions. Yeah, sorry Batman, just not for me. But when it comes to the latest addition to the Guilty Gear roster, Johnny, I am absolutely hooked. Which is why in this video I'll give you my thoughts and impressions on the character, as well as showing you some of my own gameplay for you to pick up the basics. Let's start off by taking a more in-depth look into Johnny and his full move list. So yeah, his walk isn't really anything special. I mean, it's alright, you know, it's not Potemkin, but it's not something like super fast. His backdash, I've been able to use it pretty well, so you can traverse pretty well like this. 2P is about what you'd expect. 5P is about what you'd expect. He's sort of had the same trend, I feel like, with a lot of characters that have come out recently, where sort of just this upward trajectory. Okay, wait, a dash 6k, which is pretty good. You're gonna be able to use this for extensions and different things like that. And then as for your far slash, it actually has a pretty good range to it, so you can sort of poke with it, and then you can confirm it into something like that. And your 2S actually has a lot of good range to it, so you can do something very similar. Now looking at your heavy slash options, all your buttons actually have really good range to them. This is gonna be something that you can just throw out for fun, basically. And if you have meter, you can even use it to get in. A 2-hitting move you just saw was your 2 heavy slash. And this is actually a button that you're gonna be using a lot in your combos and in your block strings, doing things like this. The final move for heavy slash is gonna be 6 heavy slash. Yeah, you could probably just do something like this. I mean, that was pretty shit, but you get the idea. Finally, looking at dust and your different D buttons. Dust is about what you'd expect. It's a dust. And then your throw, which I think this is actually pretty good for him since it's such long animation, you have plenty of time to set something up like this. Even though I fucked it up. So yeah, you can set up with throw pretty well for good block strings. Now looking at 2D, it's actually a 2-hitting normal and it's really easy to do something like that. Now looking at your air buttons, you can use your jumping P to air with your opponents if you'd like. And you can find pretty unique situations to use jumping K for. JS is also going to be one of your air-to-air options. As you can see, it has a lot of range. And then you can use jumping heavy slash as a landing button if you'd like. You can also choose to jump in with JD, but keep in mind that you sort of need to hit it later than you'd expect. And then off of jumping throw, you can get in pretty easily. Okay, now I'm just going to be giving my thoughts and impressions on the character as well as some tricks, tips, and setups that I use. First, I'd like to say how I really like the fact that the character is really fun. If you're someone who looks at fighting games or specifically Guilty Gear more from a casual standpoint, or maybe just looking to play around with different stuff and Johnny looks cool to you, then I definitely say you should check him out. He is definitely a lot of fun. But let's get down to it. Let's talk about character strength. Now that I've put a good amount of time into playing and that I've gone pretty comfortable playing as Johnny, I have to say that I think he's actually a bit stronger than I originally thought. Not to say that he's super crazy or anything. Especially in the last couple of hours, I've gone really comfortable moving, both with dashes and with misfire, to the point where I felt a lot more aggressive than I thought I could with the character. I thought this was going to be a pretty slow character, but I'm very happy to have been wrong. But again, I don't think Johnny's busted or anything. I mean, he's cool and everything, but he's still not the best. But now I actually want to go over Johnny's setups a little bit, because they actually didn't end up being as difficult as I thought they were going to be. Because it's definitely an interesting resource, and even though it's not the craziest thing you can do, it will help you extend your pressure and get a weird confirm here and there. And you actually find yourself a lot of chances to be throwing these cards out. So again, this is not at all the hardest resource to learn to use. And since getting comfortable with your misfire and dashing around is something that you need to get good with if you want to play this character at a respectable level, that learning to use the card in combination is just going to boost your level to play that much more. Which I think puts Johnny in a pretty good spot, because he's not the most difficult character, but not the easiest character to use, which makes him pretty fun if you play the game casually or play around with the character and you're more of a competitive player. Johnny has pretty decent resources and options and isn't really the hugest commitment of a character, and I think that'll do it for me. I know my thoughts were kind of short and all over the place, but I just wanted to put this out there since people are still trying to get better with Johnny. People are still trying to get better at fighting against Johnny, but I will keep playing the character just because I found myself having a lot more fun with him than I thought I would. So if you'd like to see a longer video where I talk more about it, let me know. Maybe in another 2 weeks, maybe in a month or so, once the character has stuck around for a lot longer and we actually see where he places amongst the tiers, then just let me know by leaving a like or commenting. But I think that's been about it for me. I'll leave you off with the combo video. I've been Rui. See ya.